My friends, every single day someone comes to me and tells me that they have been unsubscribed from my channel without their knowledge. Please make certain that you are still subscribed, and if you have not subscribed, please do so in our ongoing fight to stop corporations from destroying our myths. We need your help. Thank you. My agents in Hollywood have made some new contacts who are either inside Marvel Studios or have direct knowledge of the evolving situation there. And as a result, I have been sent a wealth of rumors regarding Phase 4 of the MCU and some insider dope about Brie Larson's possible involvement or non-involvement with Marvel moving forward. My agents tell me that even though these are new sources, which means you should take what they are saying with an extra few grains of salt, they have confirmed that these new sources are at least who they purport to be, and their involvement in or proximity to Marvel Studios is confirmed to the satisfaction of my agents, so I've decided to share the information they provided me with you now. As always, I have no way to independently confirm what they're telling me, so I caution you to please treat everything you're about to hear as unverified rumor and take it with a grain of salt. Also, this video has a lot of information packed into it, so be sure to watch it to the end or you'll miss out on some important things, including information about how Brie Larson may be cut out of Captain Marvel 2. We have a lot to talk about here. So let's start with the unhappy rumors first, shall we? I am informed by these sources that our worst fears are well-founded, and it appears in its projected Phase 4, the MCU is going to be transformed into the MCU. This unhappy rumor was foreshadowed in a brief sequence in Avengers Endgame when Scarlet Witch, Valkyrie, Nebula, Captain Marvel, Okoye, and Pepper Potts came together briefly to fight Thanos in an all-female version of the Avengers that has subsequently come to be called the A-Force. When I saw that, I rolled my eyes and shook my head in disgust, not because there's anything wrong with an all-female superhero team, but because this seemed like a confirmation of sorts, that the emphasis of the MCU moving into Phase 4 was going to be gynocentric, and that the men of the MCU were going to be systematically discarded, if not outright replaced by women. That shot, it was feared, was a glimpse of things to come, evidence that the rumors of gender swapping and woke wankery were true, and now that they'd gotten rid of all those troublesome male superheroes, watch out boys, time for girl power and lots of it. Or so the rumors went. Well, now my sources are claiming that indeed, not only are we going to get an all-female version of the Avengers, they are planning to gender swap as many male superheroes as they possibly can. Now, this is something we more or less expected, but the weird thing these particular sources are claiming is just how directly and blatantly these gender swaps are going to be executed. For example, in this shot, while it is an all-female team, there are only 3 gender swaps on the screen. Captain Marvel, who was originally a Kree man, Okoye as Black Panthette, and Pepper Potts as Iron Woman. Valkyrie, Scarlet Witch, and Nebula are female characters originally, so it's appropriate they should stay that way. But get this, people, they're not stopping there if this rumor is true. Marvel has it in their heads to use the multiverse idea to accomplish a whole lot of swapping going on. These sources say that somewhere in the multiverse there will be a female counterpart to every male superhero, and so they will simply bring in female versions of the male heroes they're replacing with parallel universe female versions. Aside from the obvious agenda of this kind of swapping, it has the added benefit of letting Marvel bring in new stars to replace old ones, obviously at a cheaper rate. I was frankly stunned at the audacity of this projected move. It's possible this rumor is inaccurate. It's possible they may change their minds if enough people are complaining, and I do urge you to complain at every opportunity. It's possible that this is more of a goal than a plan, that they may want to gender swap everything swinging an Uru mallet between their legs, but may ultimately feel they can only get away with this trick a few times before it becomes embarrassing. But frankly, at this point, I'm appalled that this idea even exists as a rumor, and that things have gotten so very bad with virtue signaling and identity politics that we even have to consider that something this ludicrous might be true. Nevertheless, this is what these news sources are claiming, and I convey it to you. Take it with a grain of salt. So what about the technical details of Phase 4 moving forward? How will Marvel begin shooting movies in a post-Coof world where beer buggery continually threatens to shut down productions, as we've seen with the Batman? My sources tell me that basically production on Phase 4 has been shifted to next year, at which time filming will be done at off-site studios. Previously, I reported that Lucasfilm is planning to shoot The Mandalorian in an off-site location, namely a decommissioned Air Force base, where they would be shooting seasons 3 and 4 of The Mandalorian simultaneously. Everyone in the production would be quarantined for 2 weeks before entering the facility, after which time they would live on the base during production, leaving only when their job was done. This bit of information is consistent with that previous rumor, and indeed it seems this production model is being adopted across all Disney productions. My sources say these various off-site filming locations are being named after Disney characters, codenamed Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and so on. The big news here is the new shooting technology developed by Jon Favreau and his team is going to be widely deployed across all these productions, both as a safety measure against the beer bug, which will allow cast and crew to shoot exotic locations without leaving the studio and exposing the cast to risk, and as a cost-cutting measure. Necessity being the mother of invention, this technology is being fast-tracked for wide-scale deployment across all Disney projects, and my sources say Disney will be light years ahead of all other companies as a result of this amazing new production technique. Favreau's Mandalorian filming technique, which uses what was essentially a gaming engine and a curved screen that can render artificial environments with photorealistic results rendered in real time, not only saves money, it cuts down radically on production time. These sources claim that right now, with existing production pipelines, it takes roughly 9 months to a year to film a TV show and about 2 years, give or take, to finish a movie. But with this new technology, Disney can cut those production times way down, with a TV show being finished in 6 to 9 months, and a movie can be cranked out in a year to 18 months, perhaps even less. At this point, hearing that more TV shows and movies were on their way at an expedited speed, my agents asked the sources about the stars associated with the projects. In particular, noting that Ryan Reynolds had been rumored to have a new contract for a Deadpool sequel, and having heard of other people getting new contracts for the MCU moving forward, why haven't we heard anything about Brie Larson? Isn't Brie Larson going to be a big part of the MCU moving forward? These sources said Brie Larson could be on her way out the door. This caught my agents by surprise, to say the least. When they asked the sources why Brie Larson might be gone, they replied, quote, "No one wants to work with her. To put it simply, she's a bitch." End quote. Oh, my agents replied that while they had heard Brie Larson was, to put it delicately, not popular on the set of Avengers Endgame, they had understood that Kevin Feige was the reason Brie Larson was still Captain Marvel, and asked them if there was any truth to that. I'm going to quote one of my agents directly and verbatim for the reply. According to this agent, quote, "All they did was smile and say, 'Not going to touch that,'" unquote. So you may ask, how the hell could they get rid of Brie Larson? Isn't Captain Marvel 2 scheduled? Surely she has some kind of contract inked for that, yes? Well, now here's the interesting part. I've been hearing the rumor that Larson was wearing out her welcome for months, along with rumors that Disney had capitulated to Brie Larson's demands for creative control, and all female Avengers was now in her contract, various conflicting reports, and so on. So what is the truth? Well, we can't say for sure. That's why I characterize these videos as rumors. However, The common thread running through these Brie Larson rumors is that she's a pain in the ass. Rumor has it, Marvel has been trying to get Captain Marvel 2 off the ground for a while now, but there's just one problem. No one wants to work with her or work on the movie. Sources say all the cast are doing their best to get out of doing it for various reasons, including previous conflicts, fear of the beer bug, and so on and so forth. Likewise, we've been told Disney is getting tired of her demands, her attitude, everything. Well, I heard the rumor I'm about to share with you way back on August 2nd, but I decided not to report it until I had more information to help me decide if it might have any possible merit. Well, my friends, this is that info. So here's what I heard was being considered as a possible way to get rid of Brie Larson. Turns out, it's not very difficult to do at all. A source told one of my agents, now that Disney has acquired Fox, they could simply have Rogue from X-Men pop up and take Captain Marvel's powers. My agent said, wait, you mean to say they will cast someone for Rogue and she will just stroll up and take Captain Marvel's powers and take Brie Larson's place in the MCU? The source confirmed this was an option that had been discussed. Let us all hope that option gets exercised, my friends. We can all use a little good news after this horrible year. A few other rumors I've heard over the course of the last 2 months. A source was repeatedly trying to get in touch with us way back before the beer bug hit with some information about the post-credit scene in Black Widow. My agents finally followed up on the query, and this is what we were told. And warning, this is a potential spoiler. At the end of Black Widow, there's supposed to be a scene where Black Widow looks up at someone standing in front of her. All we see is the back of this guy, dressed in one of the same time travel suits we saw in Endgame. Black Widow will ask, "Who are you?" And that will be the cliffhanger. The implication being they may bring Black Widow into the future, bringing her back to Phase 4 of the MCU. And there you have it, my friends, something of a Marvel Universe rumor roundup. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope some of these rumors are false, and some of them, like wishes, come true. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.